Hi, I'm Steve, and I'd like to thank you for joining me on the Panoramic Travels YouTube channel, where we provide videos about our travels and the Panoramic RV. This video is part 2 of a 4-part series, one for each island we visited in March and April of 2022: Oahu, the Big Island, Kauai, and Maui. Here's a travel tip if you're visiting the Big Island along with other Hawaiian islands. Fly into the Kona airport and rent a car there. Stay in Kona, which is on the west side of the island, and visit the sites around Kona and to the northwest shore for a few days. Then you can head southeast to the southern point of the island, then northeast to Hilo as a day trip. Stay in Hilo and visit the sites around Hilo and on the east coast for a few days. Then you can drop your rental car off right at the Hilo airport and fly out to your next island. If there's a one-way drop fee, see if the booking agency will waive it. I'd like to add one important note. You can't drive from the west side to the east side along the northern shoreline. There's a section of impassable valleys in the Kohala Forest Reserve. Another tip is that all Hawaiian beaches are public, so if you see it on a map you can visit it, but parking can sometimes be very challenging. Stick around to the end of the video when I'll share some of the high and low points from our 5 days on the Big Island.
My name is Bob and this is Tiffany. She has in hand the chocolate. Anybody here not eat chocolate? That's why you guys came, right, to eat chocolate. This is the only place in America chocolate, also known as cacao, will grow quantitatively for the purposes of cultivating. Now, as we make the turn walking to the main house, be walking by some drying bins. In those drying bins are Hawaiian forastero beans and Hawaiian Creole beans. Cacao trees originated as understory rainforest trees. They have to have a minimum of 50 inches of rain spread evenly throughout the course of a given year. The trees can actually tolerate 600 to 800 inches of rain. They're certainly not going to get it here in Kona, Hawaii, but they can tolerate an ordinary amount of rainfall because they are rainforest trees. So when you cut a cocoa pod, you take your cutting implement, in this case a little meat cleaver. As you strike the pod, you're turning it, and as you strike it, as you rotate it, you're penetrating through the actual wall of the pods without cutting into the beans. You make sure your fingers are not in the way. Then when you breach the pod, it reveals the cocoa beans. Now these cocoa beans have no semblance of a taste or smell of chocolate whatsoever. These are the Geico geckos, you see them on TV. Yeah. They got a British accent, they sell auto insurance.
I'm going to go in chronological order and touch on some of the highs and lows of our 5 days on the Big Island. The Kona Islander Inn is well situated as it is close to the water and can serve as a good hub to explore the western shore to the north and south. But the inn is actually a condo complex, so don't expect all the amenities of a hotel. The front desk is not always staffed, and you might not find a parking spot on the premises. But overall, I think the pros outweigh the cons. I would highly recommend Umeke's Fish Market and Grill, which is within walking distance of the Kona Islander Inn. You can either go into the restaurant or to the door around the side of the building where you can order carryout. Their poke bowl is outstanding. The original Hawaiian chocolate factory is a unique opportunity to visit a working chocolate factory. Although you don't actually get to see the factory, you do get to see the cacao trees, how the cacao is extracted from the pods, and you get a few free samples of the finished product. Bob, the owner, and his team are very entertaining and informational. And of course, you get to walk through their store where you can buy some additional chocolate. It's worth the trip along the northwest shore to visit the Pololu Valley Lookout, which has a great view and offers an opportunity to hike down to a beach. It's about as far east as you can drive along the northwestern shore because of the impassable valleys in the Kohala Forest Reserve I mentioned earlier. Be sure to stop at one or more of the many beaches on your way back to Kona. We stopped at Kauna'oa Beach and 49 Black Sand Beach, which are both located in beautifully landscaped resort areas. We're really looking forward to the Torpedo Tour's night Manta snorkel and dive. I did the snorkel and my wife did the dive. Unfortunately, my wife only saw one manta pass by and none of the snorkelers saw any rays. We are told this rarely happens, which was of little consolation since it happened for us. I will say that the staff was great and they did do everything they could to attract the mantas. You might want to give it a try. Chances are good that you'll have a better experience than we did. Okay, next let's talk about the Hang Loose Boat Tours Captain Cook boat and snorkel trip. This was definitely one of the high points of our time on the Big Island. This tour includes not only some of the best snorkeling on the island, but also an entertaining boat ride, dolphin sightings, a look at the Captain Cook Memorial, a great lunch, and opportunities for passengers to jump or dive off of the upper deck of the boat. The snorkeling is in a protected bay, the water is calm and clear, and there's a great variety of marine life. Simon, our captain, is very entertaining. He stops for dolphins, shows the passengers some interesting shoreline features, and loves to jump off of the upper deck. You should definitely visit Kilauea Volcano, one of the most active volcanoes on Earth, and hike Devastation Trail. And finally, Akaka Falls offers a beautiful walk through a rainforest before you get to the falls. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button, subscribe to the Panoramic Travels channel, and click the notify button so you won't miss any videos. And don't forget, this is part 2 of a 4-part series. Next up is Kauai and then Maui.